Caleb Hammons at the second day of the symposium, and I would ask you to just introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi, my name is Caleb Hammons, and I work primarily in Brooklyn, New York, and in the Hudson Valley of New York State. I am the associate producer at Bard College, and I also co-curate a performance series event in Brooklyn called Catch.
That's that's exactly what we're looking for. Yes. Now, having the whole symposium be about curating the arts, we're asking people if they have their own definition of what a curator is.
Sure. I like to apply a verb to it, so that because for me, I want it to always feel like it's an active practice, and so I always think of curation as being a facilitator, or that's how I like to think about it for myself, and facilitating both the creation and presentation of work, but also facilitating the experience of that work for the audience, and facilitating the historical context of that work. I think I primarily, or pretty much exclusively, work in contemporary practices and ideas, and the artists who are working in contemporary practices and ideas, who are making work in the present moment and of the present moment. And so I think that the responsibility that comes with taking a curatorial approach to however I'm involved in that work, whether it is in the development or the presentation or in the documentation, is the consciousness of the fact that that work is part of a history that hasn't been written yet, and so it's part of my responsibility as a facilitator and curator to be conscious of that work being made and displayed and archived in a way that will help it become a part of history.
And then, as far as curator versus producer and the line in between the two, is there one?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's also why I like this word facilitate, because for me that it's a verb that applies both to the work of a producer and to a curator. And I think especially in the United States, and New York specifically, where there is a culture of commercialized production of theater in particular, that the term producer often is associated in a very commercial and capitalist way, that it is that's the money person, the business guy or woman, but I'm not interested in being associated in that side of things, because that's just not what interests me. But I do think that it's a word that we're stuck with. There's a term that we're stuck with, producer, because it's the vernacular that we have. But and I'm fine with it, but like being my title. But I think it doesn't dictate for me what I do. My title doesn't dictate for me what I feel like I do, if that makes sense. Yeah.
It definitely does make sense. Thank you very much for this little quick one. Thank you. It's been great. Enjoy the rest of the symposium.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.